The internet loves to bash traditional martial arts, calling them fake, outdated, and useless in a real fight. They point out rigid stances, flashy kicks, linear movement, weak punches, and say all falls apart the moment it gets real. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes they're right. But they're also missing the bigger picture. Traditional martial arts didn't survive for generations because they were useless. They survived because parts of them actually work. And of course, parts don't. In this video, I'm not here to defend tradition for the sake of tradition. I'm here to break down and expose three styles and why they're misunderstood, what actually works under pressure, and what will get you hurt if you believe the fantasy. No movie myths, no lineage worship, just hard truths about fighting. So sit back, buckle up, and get ready for the hard truth. I'm Seafood Charlie, and you're watching the Warrior's Den Fight Channel. Martial arts movies sold people a fantasy. You couldn't break large logs with your hands, you weren't able to jump over buildings, and your hands never glowed red in a real fight. Unless, of course, you were trying to break large logs with your hands. But a lot of practitioners never grew out of it. Bruce Lee was heavily ridiculed by saying that traditional martial arts couldn't stand alone in a real fight. Say what you want about the guy, but he was right. People eventually woke up and realized there are too many holes in relying on a single style. The realization came not from theory, it came from pressure, failure, and hard lessons. How do you think mixed martial arts came about?
How? How?
I don't know.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Hey, don't tune me out now. I'm just getting started. There are plenty of haters in denial, but unless you've gone through it yourself, there's no way to understand modern fighting systems are built on decades of trial and error. Not tradition, not lineage, just results.
It's the wonder of nature, baby!
If you truly want to improve, you need to get your head out of the sand and take an honest look at your own ability. I recently released a video on this exact topic, Piece of the Action. If you're not afraid of the hard truth, check it out. It's an eye-opener. Today's subject involves three traditional martial arts that are impressive, entertaining, and yet controversial. Wing Chun, Taekwondo, and Aikido. And to be perfectly clear, I admire these styles for what they can do. It's what they can't do that raises questions. First on our list, Wing Chun. Built for close range, straight line fighting. Does well in tight quarters and would probably do great in a closet. And of course, there's the outrageous high-speed chain punch that movies glorify as some kind of secret weapon. But truth be told, I like it. We use it. It's the fly in the ointment, the mosquito buzz in your face. Basically, it's a nuisance. And by the time the opponent realizes what's happening, he's already been hit multiple times. That said, Wing Chun is too linear, too upright, and the stance is too square. It lacks evasive movement, power, and punching variety. No hooks, no uppercuts, and no working angles. But use of the center line, the trapping, the leg checks, the oblique kicks, outstanding. We use them all, and I highly recommend learning them. Next is Taekwondo. Fast, athletic, explosive. Best known for high theatrical kicks, often criticized as all legs, no hands. They're not wrong. It's even joked that it's one of the few martial arts that can still function while in a straitjacket. But the bladed stance confines you to one leg. This is designed for point spar. But here's what people miss: the kicking ability. When used correctly, this gives any fighter a huge advantage. If you can kick high with both legs and utilize this with punching, this makes you very versatile and gives you 4 weapons instead of 2. We use a variety of kicks. We just don't build an entire identity around them. Then there's Aikido, probably the one art that gets the most heat. Known for its acrobatic throws, fan-like flips, it's often criticized for lacking any real striking ability in a fight. One of the most beautiful arts to witness, but beauty only takes you so far. As they glide across the floor like a poetic opera, and the would-be attackers go flying with what seems like a simple touch. With choreographed movements and opponents bending to their will, is impractical in a street fight. The opponent isn't coming at you with a chopping knife hand, but rather a flurry of unpredictable punches. That said, balance disruption, joint manipulation, and center control are valuable tools when implemented correctly. Here's the irony. If you fuse these 3 traditional styles together, you'd actually have the foundation of a decent fighting system. And that's the point. I don't teach these arts myself. What I teach is the essence of creating a well-rounded fighter. Want to know more about being a well-rounded fighter? Check out my video, The Complete Fighter. More and more traditional martial artists are exploring outside their own style. Instructors, teachers, even masters being ridiculed by their peers and sometimes expelled from that style completely. But I say, anyone willing to remove the blinders and actually wants to improve their fight has my respect. Now, I'm not saying abandon your traditional style, just the opposite. In order to build a house, you need a sound foundation. Keep your style as your foundation and build on that. Bruce said it best: absorb what is useful, disregard what is useless, and add what is essentially your own. This principle shaped our system. But even our system started out with a base style. And no, it wasn't Jeet Kune Do. Can you guess what it is? I've already given you several hints. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll give the one with the correct answer a shout out in my next video. At the end of the day, fighting doesn't care about tradition. It doesn't care about belts, titles, lineage, or what worked in a controlled environment. It only cares about what works under pressure. Traditional martial arts aren't useless, but they're incomplete when taken at face value. If you train them honestly, test them, strip away the fantasy, and adapt them to chaos, they can make you better. If you don't, they give you a false confidence without competence, and that's dangerous. The fighters who improve aren't the ones defending their style online. They're the ones willing to be wrong, to evolve, and put their skill under stress. So keep your foundation. Just don't build a house on nostalgia. Train what works. Disregard what doesn't. And if you're serious about being a complete fighter, you already know what needs to be done. Look, the world is constantly changing and evolving with new thoughts, new ideas, and new techniques. And if you don't get on board and change with the times, well, the bus is going to pass you by. So if you found this video useful, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video. I'm Sifu Charlie. Until next time, keep an open mind.